Hello guys and welcome back to the Rovers Report. I hope you're all doing well today. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. In today's video, we will be covering the team that I would select if the season started tomorrow. Now, I appreciate that there's probably going to be 4 or 5 more signings. I personally really think we need 4 or 5 more signings. But yeah, the concept of today's video is just a bit of fun. I'm going to select my team that if the season started tomorrow, I would pick. I'd be really interested to see what you think. So let me know in the comments down below. What changes would you make? Who would you replace for my team? But yeah, let's get into the video. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, leave it a like and let's go. In goal for me, I'm going to be sticking with a man that did tremendously for us last season, won the player of the season, and I think is extremely hard to budge in this team. Possibly the first name on the team sheet. And that is, of course, James Belshaw. I think, like I said, he obviously performed outstandingly for us last season, is a massive part of the team spirit, brilliant shot stopper, great communicator as well. If you look at the other options, you've got Antti Ikola, who by his own rights is a very good goalkeeper, but unfortunately Belshaw's just been much better than him, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Antti Ikola go out on loan or leave the club permanently this season. Other option, Jed Ward, a great young goalkeeper, doesn't quite have the experience yet, and I think he'll only benefit from being around Belshaw and Ikola, but in terms of starting position, possibly not quite ready yet, or just simply Belshaw has been in outstanding form and is a great goalkeeper. So yeah, for me, I think it's a no-brainer. In goal, I would have James Belshaw. Moving on to the right back, and yes, that does mean for me I will be playing a back four. I think with the current crop of players we have right now, I think 4 at the back formation suits us better. Obviously did wonders for us last season, and yeah, so I will be playing a 4 at the back, and my right back in the team will be James Gibbons. Now, this is not just a slight on Luca Hall at all. I think he was wonderful last season and is only going to get better. But from what I've heard about James Gibbons from Port Vale fans, he's an extremely good talent. So I'd personally put him in that team. You know, I think League One is obviously going to be a bit of a step up. We don't know how Luca Hall will do in there. I think he would probably do a job for us, but you know, I think Gibbons has been signed to be a starting player in our team. So I'd put him in there. I think he's been linked with, I think he was close to joining Sheffield United, so that obviously gives an indication of his ability. And for me, I think you put him in there. He's obviously got very good defensive work rate. I think he's competent going forwards. So yeah, I would go with James Gibbons at right back. Moving on to the centre backs, and we don't have a huge amount of centre backs, to be honest. There's certainly players that could fill in there. You know, you look at the likes of Josh Grant, Nick Anderton. But in terms of out-and-out centre-backs, the only real options for us are Alfie Kilgore, who's obviously been with the club for a long time now, has been out with an injury for about a year or so, so hopefully is looking to get back into the team. We obviously have James Connolly, who we've recently signed. Fantastic young player. And for me, those are the 2 that would go in. I'm not sure I'd want to have Nick Anderton in at centre-back. And James Connolly, for me, picks himself. You know, we saw him last season. Absolutely fantastic. He's assured on the ball, wins his headers strong, and is mature beyond his years. Alfie Kilgore, for me, I'd like to see him back in that team. You know, he was very good under Coughlin. And I think, realistically, I'd like to sign another centre-back and probably pair him with Connolly. But as it stands, I would probably go with Connolly and Kilgore. Let me know who you would put as our centre-back pairing down below. Now, left-back for me was a bit of a tricky one, and it will rely on how James Gibbons plays. Because if he is extremely attacking, then I would be reluctant to also play Trevor Clark in a back 4, just because I feel that could leave our defence slightly exposed. With that being said, if he isn't so attacking and he stays back more, I probably would play Clark to offer that attacking thrust up front. But for me, probably being a bit safe and a bit conservative, I would start the season with Nick Anderton at left back. You know, we know what his abilities are. He's very defensively sound. He can get forward. He's not the quickest. He can put a good ball in. But the fact that he can also play centre-back tells you that defensively he's strong, he's solid. And I think, that back four for me, you put in another centre-back, and that's a strong back four. So I would personally go with Nick Anderton. I'm sure quite a few of you would go with Trevor Clark or might even put Josh Grant in there. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'm going with Nick Anderton at left back. Right, now moving on to the centre mid position. And in this formation, I will be going with 3 centre mids, 2 holding and 1 cam. And it's the centre mid pairing that sort of pushed us through the whole of our last League Two season. And that is, I will be playing Sam Finley and Paul Coots as the sort of CDMs, sitting, protecting that back four, picking the ball up, spraying passes, and in front of them I'll have Anthony Evans. I think the only real change you could make within that would be to potentially bring in Jordan Rossiter, and that's not to say for me that he's not going to establish himself in that team. I just think he's obviously had a few injuries, he needs to get back up to speed, and also Paul Coots and Sam Finley have credit in the bank. They were a huge part of our success last season, so I don't think you should take them out of the team just yet. I think see how they start and then potentially see if we can swap out, Sam Finley maybe for Jordan Rossiter. Maybe Paul Coots gets injured or cannot play as many games and you bring in Josh Grant. But yeah, my starting centre mid 3 would be the one from last season of Finley, Coots and Anthony Evans. Onto the attackers, and I will be going with a sort of 2-1. So you'd have a left and a right forward and then an out-and-out striker. And the out-and-out striker for me is quite easy. Recent signing, and that is John Marquise. I think in terms of goals, in terms of poaching and natural finisher, you don't get many better at League One than that, and I think he goes straight into our team. The other people fighting for that position is Ryan Loft and Aaron Collins, and I think just in terms of ability, Marquise is clearly head and shoulders above Loft. I'm actually going to put Aaron Collins in at left forward, so he definitely does make the team, and I think, we've seen him operating in that sort of position, coming in off the left. He's played behind the striker before, and I think having Marquise there will sort of free him up to be a bit more creative. He might turn the assister into more of the goal scorer this season. Still think he'll bag quite a few, but I think that could be a really nice partnership. And then on the right flank, I will be having Harry Anderson there. You know what he's all about. Pace, he's direct, he's strong, powerful. And I think in terms of a front three, they really complement each other. You've got an out-and-out finisher, a poacher. You've got some creativity in there. You've got raw pace. You've got strength. And with Anthony Evans behind them, I think that is a really exciting front three. So there you have it, gasheads. If the season was to start tomorrow, my team would be a 4-3-2-1, and that would be James Belshaw in goal, James Gibbons at right back, Alfie Kilgore and James Connolly at centre back. Left back would be Nick Anderton. The 2 holding midfielders would be Paul Coots and Sam Finley. Just in front of them, I would play Anthony Evans, and then the front 3 would be Aaron Collins, John Marquise and Harry Anderson. Let me know down below if you agree with that. Let me know what changes you'd make, and I will see you next time.